It's been a long day. Can you tell? My hair's a mess. Today was my doctor's appointment, if you watch my last video. And I said I better get on here and let everybody know what's going on. I'm RV Butterfly, and I do a lot of different videos. And I have two other channels besides this. And, yeah. So thanks for stopping by. Let me give y'all an update. Well, the doctor had told me I had to get I had to go see an electrophysiologist after I had a EKG and a whole bunch other goofy tests, because my heart was waking me up, and it would do it during the day too, but it would like pound. It was racing heart. And at first I thought it was my anxiety, because that's the way my anxiety actually started, but I could tell it was different. So I went to the doctor, and they took a bunch of tests and then sent me to the doctor I went to today. He was fabulous. He knew his stuff, boy, let me tell you. And he had a great bedside manner. He was not forceful in his opinions, he answered all my questions, and that's important to me. But anyway, what it comes down to is, because of the way my heart works, because I have always had a slow heart rate, and I think I talked about this once before. I had surgery, and I think it was a bladder tuck or something, and I got out of recovery and came into the room, and of course you're groggy, and I was basically sleeping, and I felt somebody looking at me, so I woke up, and I was looking, and it was a male nurse, and he was looking funny at me, He said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I think." He said, "Well, you need to breathe deeper." I said, "Okay." So I was like, "Why?" He said, "Well, your heartbeat is like 40. He said, "Is that normal for you?" He said, "Are you very active?" And of course, I had 3 boys at the time, and I was active. We used to go play ball in the summertime and on the weekends, and I would hit the ball with them just like they were doing, and I would run bases and everything else. So, and I went to work, and I went to school, and, I was a busy person. And so I told him that, and he said, "Well, maybe that's it." He said, "People who tend to be athletic like that, their heart runs low." Okay. So that was cool when I was young, I guess. So now, being as I can't remember which test it was, darn it, that I took. Gosh. Anywho, if you look at my last video, you'll find out, I'm sure. I'm tired, but I wanted to get on here and let you guys know what was happening. So he said that my heart races, but I also have where my heart is slow. My heartbeat is slow. So he would need to give me medicine to calm down my racing heart, but he couldn't do that because as you get older, your heart slows down anyway. And with me having a slow heart rate, the medicine that he would have to give me for the racing heart, that would also cause my heart to slow down. So, basically his suggestion was, since I did have 200 and something, I think it was 265 or something like that, episodes of racing heart, and I was just sitting down when I did it, or when it happened, and or sleeping, and it would wake me up. He says that it's his opinion that it would be better if I went ahead and got a pacemaker, and that way they could regulate the heartbeat to what it's supposed to be, and or close, or however they do that. And on top of it, he could then give me the medicine that would calm the racing part down. He also suggested, surprise, surprise, that I'm under a little bit too much stress. And I can't disagree with him, okay? Because I've been under a lot of stress for the last couple of months. So, there's 3 things that he recommended. One, he said they may have to bump up my anxiety medicine a little bit. And they may have to give me a pacemaker, and so that they can give me the racing medicine, that would slow the racing down on my heart. So that's 3 things. And I did talk to him about it, and he said, it's something you really need to consider, because as you get older, you're probably going to need a pacemaker anyway. And of course, it's more dangerous to go through surgeries and stuff like that when you have a low heart rate, which I told you guys I had an endoscopy, and that's what started really this whole thing, because I did have endoscopies like every 5 years because of my gastrointestinal problem I have. So I never had any kind of trouble like that before. But then again, it's been 5 years until I had this one a couple of months ago. So, and if you remember, I said that the anesthesiologist said that my heart was acting really funny when I was under anesthesia, and she really had to watch me, and she suggested I go see a cardio. And she reminded me of that when I left that day to come home after the surgery. So that's what started it. And then, of course, I got home, and I started having the racing heart and stuff like that. So my job now is to decide whether I'm going to try to wait it out and see what happens with the racing heart, or and also, I still have to de-stress, so I'm just going to have to de-stress. That's all there is to it. I told you I need a vacation. Anyway, so I'm kind of confused as what to do. My mom had her pacemaker probably the first time about the same age as I am now. I'm 68. And I'm pretty sure she had hers about the same time. The first one. And she told me that they lasted about 10 years and then you had to get a new one. Well, this doctor's telling me this one would last me about 15 years, and it would be the battery they would be changing. Of course, there's risk with every surgery, so he had to tell me that because they go through the groin just like they do when they do the angiograms and stuff like that. Well, I had that done a few times too, and I never really knew that could be dangerous until later when I started reading about it. But anyway, that is the way that they do the pacemaker now. They do not put the big lump up here that you have. From what I understand, these things are much smaller now. And there's nothing up here on top. So, what do you guys think? If you were in my position, what would you do? Please let me know in the comments because I'm so confused. You know, after what happened with surgery last time, my biggest thing is I would be devastated if I had to go through a surgery now and then not know, you know, since my last surgery there was a problem with my heart rate, you know, keeping it up, keeping it, you know, whatever. And you never know when you're going to need a surgery. But then again, I have to get surgery to get the pacemaker in. You know, so I'm so confused. Which is easy for me, you guys know that. But, yeah, I just, what I said is that I was going to pray about it because that's all I can do. But I really feel that if I'm going to need one anyway later on, I need to get it. And one reason is because I have chronic stage 3 kidney disease. And if it gets worse, like my cousin who's in Orlando, hers got worse. Her kidneys failed. And she needed a pacemaker. And they would not even put in her port to, you know, where they do the dialysis to clean out her kidneys until she had the pacemaker because they were afraid she could pass during the surgery if she didn't have her pacemaker first. So something to think about. And also, we have a very good friend, and she's more like family, really, and her husband, he needed a pacemaker, but he refused it. He didn't want to get it. And then he got sick. And they told him, well, you need to go get your pacemaker because we don't want to do surgery on you until you do. Well, he was very headstrong. And they went ahead and did his surgery without the pacemaker. And as soon as they gave him the anesthesia, he was gone. He had a major heart attack. So I don't know, you know, I think of that, and I think of the friend of ours who, and my cousin who, you know, when she needed surgery to get her kidney port in, they weren't going to give it to her until the cardiologist either okayed it or gave her the pacemaker. And he ended up giving her the pacemaker before she went in. So this is where I'm at right now. So I don't know what to do. He says that it takes about 45 minutes to do it. So he made me an appointment for 3 months to come back and speak with his nurse and see how I'm doing. He says, in the meantime, if I decide to get the pacemaker, just call his office and they'll get me set up. So I don't know what to do. So I am just gonna try to do the best I can, see if I have that racing heart a lot, you know, maybe in the next few weeks. And think a lot about what my options are and my decisions are. Because if Bert got really sick, I don't have the time to go in and have this pacemaker put in anyway. Because I really don't have anybody who could be with Bert. You know. So, except for my son, but, you know, he's got very bad grand mal seizures, so they'd be basically trying to take care of each other, you know, so goodness gracious, it's a big decision. It really is. Well, for me it is, because I've always been healthy, and I've always been active, and, you know, but he says that, you know, it'll last for about 15 years. And then, you know, I would have to get a battery change. So, what you guys think? I know I said that before, right? Anywho, I am going to get my behind off of this, and I am going to relax, and it's been a long, long day. And I'll be looking forward to your comments down below. If you are here for the first time, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you get all my videos, and also share me out. And I have 2 other channels. One is called Can We Talk? And the other one is Over 50 Making It Better. So, we would love to have you over there too. We talk about a lot of interesting things. Guys, I love you. Thank you for staying around and for being concerned about me, checking on me, etc. And I hope that a lot of you will leave me a comment. Just give me your educated or even uneducated opinion. Or if you have a pacemaker or something and you got one recently, let me know, because I hear it's just so much different than when my mom got hers, which was a long time ago. So, yeah. And I am, in the meantime, going to look up stuff on the internet and try to get as much information about it as I can, so that I can make an informed decision. And I will see you guys on the next video. Good night, guys.